Welcome to Musician Live. My name is Dali Somoyo, and today I'll be showing you how to get started when you're playing piano. So if you're a beginner, this is the place for you. Welcome, join us. If you are a player who's already playing but you don't understand the technicalities behind and basically your basics, this is the place for you. You're welcome. Okay, so let's get started. So now I'll just be explaining the piano so that we just understand. We've got black notes, as you can see, black notes and white notes. So there's two black notes. Our first note here, that's a C. So that's what I want you to understand. Two black notes, that's a C, two black notes, C, two black notes, C. And it repeats itself. As you can see, 2, 2, 2, 2. Don't mind this one. That's actually this note. So it's just the same thing. But what's different is the pitches. These are lower registers. You've got your mids and you've got your highs. Sure, you have mid highs and high lows if there's such a thing. But that's what it is basically. So now I'll be teaching you how to construct the major scale. So this will apply in all keys. This formula I'm going to show you is a formula you can use to construct a major scale in all the keys. Major scales only. Okay. So what you should know before we get started is three things. You need your root. You need to know tones. And you need to know semitones. That's all you need. So what is a root? Basically, a root is your starting note. So I'll be using C. That is our root because it's our starting note. But let's say I wanted to make my major scale anyway. That can be my root. That can be my root. That can be my root. So basically your root is your starting note. Now, what is a tone? So a tone basically means skip one note. That's the easiest way I can put it. When you skip one note, that is a tone. Let me make an example. So our starting note is going to be this C. That's our starting note. So from C to D, that is a tone. Okay. Let me just say the notes of the C major scale so you don't get confused. So basically these are the notes of the C major scale. It's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So the major scale has got basically 8 notes. The major scale has got 8 notes. But your 8 is still like your 1. So, yeah. So, where was I? Yes. From C to D, that's a tone. Why is it a tone? Because I skipped one note. I skipped that note. From D to E, it's a tone. Why is it a tone? Because I skipped one note. So from E to F sharp, it's a tone because I skipped one note. Okay, now that we're done with the tone, what is a semitone? So basically a semitone means don't skip a note. What do I mean? From C to C sharp. That is a semitone because I didn't skip a note. From C to D, it's a tone because I skipped one note. So do you get the difference? Semitone means you don't skip. Tone means you skip. That's it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the formula to use to create the major scale. And this works in all keys. So the formula is your root, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Now you know how to play the major scale. Let me repeat that again. Root, tone, tone, semitone. Tone, 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 semitone. And you just have to make sure there are 8 notes. So that's how you construct the major scale. You have to know the formula. Root, tone, tone, semitone. Tone, 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 semitone. That's how you construct the major scale. So now there's something that I learned when I started playing piano. It's called the micro scale, if I'm correct, or 5-finger running exercise. This is something you need to get your fingers ready to start playing. So what is the micro scale or 5-finger running exercise? It's basically just the 5 notes of the scale. So you'll be playing this just to get your hands ready and a bit stronger, because if you're a beginner and you just start out, your hands will be a bit weak. You won't be able to have control over them, and you will feel pain in the beginning, but the pain is not a lot, but it will be there because your fingers are getting strength. So how we play the micro scale, remember, is just 5 notes of the major scale: the root, tone, tone, semitone, and tone. Remember that formula because you'll use it to play the micro scale or 5-finger running exercise. So before we even play, we have to make sure we're sitting in a good posture. We have a good posture, as you can see, and be relaxed. And your hand, you'll have to pretend like you're holding an orange or a ball and place them on the notes, as you can see. And make sure that your fingers are not, scattered away, or, keep it nice and neat. And there's one thing that always gets us embarrassed, was the counting. So we have to count because music has a sense of time and it helps. So you'll have to tap your foot, count to 4, then play. Like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's basically the micro scale. And this is just an exercise to get your fingers ready for more things that you'll be doing. So how do I want you to play the micro scale? Actually, how should you practice this? Basically, once you've learned it in C, take it up to C sharp. So you might be, if you are confused, like how am I playing it in C sharp? Basically, I used the principles of how to construct a scale. So before I played in C sharp, I look for the root, tone, skip one note, another tone, skip that note, semitone, I don't skip a note, tone, I skip this note, tone, skip this note, tone, I skip that note, semitone. So here's the C sharp major scale. See, it's easy to construct a major scale. So remember, and these black notes, if I'm correct, are called enharmonics, because one note can share the same, how can I put this in an easy way? One note, it can either be C sharp or D flat. That's what one note has got 2 names, if that makes sense. But that's what it means. One note, it can either be C sharp or D flat. So it's up to you whether you want to call them sharps or flats for now, so that you don't get confused and understand. I'll explain it in detail later. Okay, so where was I? Yes. Now that you understand how you can construct the micro scale in other keys, let's go to E. Same thing. E flat. Sorry, let's say D sharp. E. Let's go to F. F sharp. G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and C. Yes, that's what you need to know. So let me just give you this, a chromatic way to remember all the notes. Just call this C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and C. So I want you to play the microscale in all of these notes, which will make you be able to play it in 12 keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's basically how one is able to play in 12 keys.